Yep, this is it. This is probably the most expensive part in the wood shop. So scrap. Scrap is probably the most expensive part you're ever going to see, because you know what? It's scrap. It's usually pieces that have been cut down too small to do anything with. So when you're purchasing your lumber, you're going to want to think of a couple of different things when you're purchasing it, long before you're cutting it all up to make it fit. And the idea behind that is to have as little as scrap. Okay, so I've squared the end off. Now, I took a little bit more than I normally do, because if you can see, there's some cracks all through this, so this would just end up breaking at the end anyways. So, this is one piece of scrap we got. Now what we'll do is we will rip this thing. I've got my my saw stop set. We'll go ahead and we'll rip this thing all the way down. Having our calculations done and knowing exactly what pieces we had to cut, now that we cut our board to length, okay, battery died, we're going to start this over again. So now that we've got them all cut to length, this is what I had left over the end, and of course this is the piece you guys saw me break to square off the end. So out of the board, whoop, this is all I have scrap so far. Relatively efficient so far. Then of course you watch me rip them in half. Now I know because I have my list of exactly what boards I needed to cut first off. I could cut a second one out of each one, but however that would leave me a whole bunch of extra board or scrap left over in the end. But doing it this way, I've cut one, this is 2 3/4. Now I've got to cut one 2 inches. So we're going to rip that again now to 2 inches, and then I need some 1/2 inch ones. So let's go ahead and do that and see what we have left over for scrap. Now that we got our 2 inch piece ripped, so we've got our 2 3/4 and our 2 inch, we're left with just over 1/2 inch. So these aren't all from the same board, just because I've got a whole bunch going, but you can kind of see how the board is all going to fit together now. Now, this lumber, just due to, it's all the same size when they initially cut it, but due to the moisture content, it dries, the saw blades and stuff like that, they're all a little bit different. So now I'm going to rip this to 1/2 inch, and we'll see what we have left for scrap out of that. So far, so good. So out of all of that, this is all I have for scrap out of a 16-foot board. All of a sudden, it doesn't become the most expensive thing in the shop, does it? I'll go ahead and rip all the rest of these, and then I'll just keep track of absolutely everything, and then you can see where we have left over for scrap. This is what makes or breaks the cost on a project. And this is what we have left over from that board. And to make sure that that doesn't get wasted either, here's where it goes. Zero waste. And that's how it's done. As little waste and ultimate utilization out of every board. Have a good day, everyone. Thank you for watching.